All right. Oh my God, that was so amazing. Sorry about that. Well, cool. So, Kyle, we had your heroic moment there in our zeros phase. We're going to go now to yes.
We need to wrap up his scene.
Oh, we do.
Tokens.
So we have to look across what happened here. Did we see a strike against the villain or the Big H's government? I think so.
I think we did, yeah. He beat up a whole Russian mob.
Yeah. Everybody good on that one?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So you get a might token.
Inspiration. Show inspiring heroism and integrity in front of onlookers. Well, with that reroll, one's got to question some things, but...
Well, I think actually the story to onlookers as, like, the media and cops arrive at the end there is that, you know, this hero cop was vigilanteing and, like, is publicly on record as having beaten up this mob and saved who knows whoever.
Well, that sounds like a vote. All right, Michael, how do you feel on that one? Yes, no?
Yeah, Patrick's persuaded me. That sounds good to me.
You know, the superhero identity is getting the cred, even if it wasn't technically him.
Ryan, you give the thumbs up on that one?
That sounds like a fair spin on it. I was going to say no, but I kind of like the idea of your super identity getting cred, even though you tried to ditch it.
All right, and righteous. We saw the betrayal of ideals, and we will, I think, lose. It seems like lose that righteous token that we had before by doing that.
I mean, so.
Right. That seems fair. Excellent. All right, then. So our next one, that's you, Michael.
Okay. So, since this is the beginning phase of our heroes, we have to go back in time for Stargazer, back to the mid '80s. So we're gonna set this right before the big religious 1980s throwdown, right when it's starting to build up. Zhang Jiang, hopefully I'm pronouncing that somewhat right, has just gotten his powers, and which I think are now like basically like star type powers, like energy and flight and superhuman durability, because you can't channel that energy without being a little tough. And he is worried because right now, since we're Stargazer has begun uniting the religions, but hasn't pulled it off yet. There's a lot of controversy going on right now. The Chinese government, I think, is still going to in China you've got the Christian activism movements started by Stargazer's parents, or they're basically like the leaders of the faith community throughout China, and they're getting they're actually almost getting pressure from both ends, partially from the segments of government that still don't approve of religion, and the reactionaries who don't approve of Stargazer, or excuse me, probably not Stargazer. They were certainly not Safeguard, and so. As the Stargazer, he's certainly been trying to break up attacks, and also personally trying to keep his parents safe. Also, without letting them find out that he's the Stargazer, because they're a little estranged, because he was never as faithful as they were. In fact, that's why he went into science and became an astronomer, and. Yeah, that was his reaction to Stargazer, instead of like following the religious side of the Safeguard setup, as it were. He went the other way, following him as a scientist who's so that's basically what he's doing. He can fly. He can shoot energy blasts.
Now, who is what heroic act are we seeing him a part of?
Yeah, sure. Right now, let's say there is I don't know. Let's say robots. Yeah, robots are good. Yeah, robots have been unleashed. Maybe.
Well, and I say that, or are we seeing something that is in your real life? Because that's something that could be in here too. Are we seeing you deal with like your parents, or the real life part of Stargazer's life?
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe he's getting static at work because his parents are so prominent. Is in the Christian activist movement, and he's working for the government. So maybe his coworkers are a little suspect. Maybe who knows? Maybe that's why he had to rush his project, and that led to shortcuts that may have resulted in the accident that gave him his superpowers. That's a classic thing, right?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and yeah, he's also so he's trying to I don't know. Let's maybe he's just like he's probably starting up a fight by shooting up or at least blasting away some, or not blasting away, but certainly blasting up some bad guys who are harassing the people who are trying to peacefully protest there. It's almost like even though Tiananmen Square, like, as a political movement, it may have been averted by the introduction of the safeguards prediction technology. A similar situation may have come up just because of this whole other movement that's come to the forefront in this new timeline. And he's just trying to keep everyone safe and stop people from getting hurt. Since the Christian movement is pretty much peaceful, except for the reactionaries, who eventually joined the super team later on. But yeah, that's kind of the setup, and I don't know if anyone has any idea for how to villainize this.
Anybody feel like putting a villain idea up there, or an opposition to that? Kyle or Ryan or me would be the ones to do it. Because I think Patrick's already been villainous.
I've already been. Well, I'm not going to be my own villain either way.
Either one of y'all feel like jumping?
The only thing I can come up with is not terribly super. So,
well, again, I don't think it has to be super. We're in the zero phase. We're still in the busting up gangsters and bank robbers phase.
Okay, so you're busting up phones and bank robbers and stuff. When you get a call from work saying that they need you to come in right away, they've got stuff to be done, and you're gonna have to come in. I mean, I know it's your weekend, and you're in the middle of shooting stuff with your star powers right now, probably. But yeah, we need everybody on this.
Yes, because my lab's been in overtime trying to after my accident. Even after my accident, they've been in overtime trying to reestablish contact with. Well, first of all, just to keep afloat, because having a big accident break out in your lab is never good for continued funding. So they're trying to fix things and reestablish contact with the stars, having like some successful result that you can actually tell people about. So yeah, and who knows, maybe what I do in reaction is in order to, if I have to be at work, I could at least try to like keep things calm by creating kind of like almost like holographic light halo illusions of myself flying around to like keep the bad guys afraid enough to not want to act out.
And while you're deciding whether you're going to go into work or not, they're going to mention that definitely, I mean, we know your loyalties are a bit split, and you did cause a giant accident at work, so maybe this is not the time to not be a team player.
Right. Which is why I come up with that crazy stunt. Probably, I'm sure it gives me a big migraine from expanding my powers in a way I've never tried to use them before. But yeah, I do. I do want to be a dutiful employee and get back on the project and do my part.
Oh, that sounds cool. Ryan, you think that's a roll to see how well they manage?
Roll to see how well you make distracted illusions.
Yes, does my bluff enough?
Yeah.
While also still completing all of your paperwork at work.
Yeah, exactly. I should have made the illusion clones do the paperwork. I
should have just been multiple man, but
this is one of the
we
things,
can't all be.
Oh, too late. If only I should have thought about that. No, I pressed the button, but a lot of times I find when I use roll from your party, I press the button and it's the same number. So I'm suspicious of that result, even though it would
feel free to throw a new die out if you'd like.
Oh, that would be a good way to do it. We'll make this one orange. And I won't bother labeling it because I'm just going to roll it for here. This will probably be my only roll of the night because we're getting close. Okay, it's a success. Phew.
All right, with a 6, I think you get to describe out how this works.
Oh, I see 4, but yeah, either way, it's still a success. Yeah, so
that was a 6.
Oh, I'll do it. Oh,
go ahead with your 4. Go ahead.
Anyway, I see
4.
So yeah, that now basically it worked as I was hoping. Not only does it do I keep both the oppressive elements of government that would like to shut down that still want to shut down organized faith organizations in what is still communist China, but also the people are freaking out that many people are using. Boy, I'd almost want to. It seems almost juicier if my parents were part of. I almost want to make my parents kind of the reactionaries, but. Anyway, I'll table that because in the interest of saving time. But it keeps everyone who would act up and be bad actors from not acting. But not only does it do that, but Stargazer also provides us. I would say provides a sense of inspiration. He may wear tights and not have like wings per se, but he's still a flying figure. He is the celestial astronomer / stargazer, and I'm sure is inspiring faith of all kinds throughout the nation, and keeps things calm and prevents the eventual, like when the big religious super war breaks out in a year or two. China will hopefully not be a big venue for that, thanks to the efforts of Stargazer here and now, I would say.
Okay. So we see you do this split and have these holographic stargazers that are out there, and they dampen down the difficulties.
Yeah, it's almost like my version of the loaves and fishes miracle, to go back to Christian allegory and whatnot. So, but anyway,
very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, let's hit your tokens. Strike a blow against villains of the Big H's government. What do we think? Was that striking a blow against them, or was that kind of keeping the status quo going? What do we think?
I think it was striking a blow.
Brian, thoughts? You were the villain.
You could spin it either way. I mean...
Oh, you're the villain.
He didn't get fired, so I guess that's a blow. But
Kyle, thought?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he kept the peace.
I will go with the majority thus far and say yes. So that's a token. Show inspiring heroism or integrity in front of onlookers.
So many onlookers.
So many onlookers. I definitely think that gets one, me personally.
1 out of every 4 or 5 onlookers on the planet.
Yeah. Did we stand up for or betray any ideals?
What's your ideal you've chosen?
My personal ideal was, I think, did I end up with reason over faith? I think, just to play up the philosophical differences between me and my parents. So I don't know. And then the safeguard idea was intergalactic equilibrium.
I think that stands up for ideals then, honestly. What do y'all think?
I think so too. I think keeping that societal balance, I think keeping that like personal balance, because you can be a superhero and have a career and have it all, god damn it.
Bring home the bacon.
I didn't say how they applied, but yeah, he was totally keeping work-life balance up. So sure.
All right, I think you got all 3 tokens.
Wow.
And Ryan, we're going to hit you because we're running out of time, but I want to make sure you get yours in here for our zeros period. So tell us, what awesome thing are you getting involved in?
I think Egress's sight's really low. She's not out, trying to take down the mega banks and that kind of stuff, but is like, preventing car crashes and stuff because, oh no, it looks like you're going off the road, but doink, now you're in an open field sort of thing. And just kind of small stuff like that. Maybe Purse Snatcher is suddenly right back where he started, kind of thing, because portals, yay.
Okay, very cool. Kyle, want to take on the villain spot? You haven't had one yet.
Yeah.
Do you set up the kind of obstacle here in the way and decide if you feel like it deserves a roll?
So maybe on that like purse snatcher train of thought. So this guy, runs up to some old lady, grabs her purse and pushes her over and starts, bolting for the alleyways. Yeah, and Ingress is nearby, and is about to lose sight of him.
Do you think it requires a roll, or you think Ingress does it just automatically? Gets to describe it out.
I think rolls are fun, so
I do too.
Now you can see how I salvage it or how I ruin everything. That's a 2, so I ruin everything.
Would you care to let the villain describe how this goes poorly, or do you wish to use something to re-roll?
Let's see, but I can re-roll again.
You can re-roll might, or use might to re-roll. Use your powers. Or you could...
betray my ideals.
Or stand up for them.
Well, you have to betray them to get the re-roll, don't you?
To get the token, yeah.
So I'm going to use my powers. Oh, that gave me the exact same number, so I'm going to roll the other one.
Yeah.
That gave me a 1. So yeah, I'm definitely not catching this guy. So I try to despite not quite knowing where I'm going to end up, and that goes wrong. And I guess I'll let the villain describe.
Yeah,
either if the guy gets away or if I explode myself or what.
What awful thing happens?
So just to be clear, did you make a portal to go in yourself, or did you make a portal that the villain ran into?
Ooh, either way, whichever way you think sounds more terrible.
Yeah. Maybe you tried to portal the thief, right into the police station or something. But don't quite have your powers down. And he just walks through this portal and is like deep in alleyways where no one would know where he was, and he is very confused by the whole scene, but then just marches off with his purse, feeling pretty good about himself.
So instead, I was the getaway car.
That's lovely. All right, and we have mine.
We have to allot my points,
yeah.
even though I failed, so I don't think I get any points.
Oh, I think you get some. Did you strike a blow against the villains of the Big H? I don't think so.
No.
No.
Did you show inspiring heroism and integrity in front of an onlooker. You might have shown some integrity.
Yeah, I think at the very least, the person whose purse got snatched appreciates you trying.
I take that because I jumped in like, I will save you, and I didn't manage it, but I tried.
Folks Kyle, Michael, willing to vote for some integrity there?
Yeah,
I think so.
Just seeing that kind of patronizing old lady, well, you tried, dear. That's okay. Like, you're not making me feel better.
All right, you get a token then from inspiration and righteousness.
See, you have protecting the innocent and great responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Did you betray your ideals? I don't think you did. You seem to stand up for your ideals. Didn't work great.
Yeah,
I
tried.
I think again you tried, and you really were going for the sort of like you were going for that individual save.
Yeah, I'm just not as good as Spider-Man, so it didn't work.
All right. Do we feel like
we can't all have dead uncles?
It does change everything. So, do we agree with a plus on integrity, on righteousness? All right, take you a token there. And before we wrap up, I do want to get mine in real quick.
Yeah.
So, I think we see in the early 2000s, we see Bleed, and she's a lady in her late 30s, early 40s, and we see her in her spandex. And she is there at a meeting of, I think, probably people who are angry with how Safeguard has started to take over, has worked with the police to where there's all this freedom that, people are being arrested before they do a crime, or the cops are waiting for them when they arrive, sort of thing. And they're upset, perhaps for good reason. But we see Bleed there kind of moving between them. It's important that we're all safe. We're all looking for a better world. Safeguard's our friend. Safeguard's looking out for us. Anybody feel like being a villain in this group of radicals that Bleed is trying to calm?
Yeah, who are you talking to? Sorry.
These are radicals who are opposed to what Safeguard has done. The ACLU, the people, freedom first folks who are saying, look, we're having folks arrested before they do a crime. Anybody want to stand up to that, or are you just going to let me narrate it out?
I'll throw in a villain there. I think as you're feeling out these people and trying to, I imagine, influence them a little bit. Your powers work both ways.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I think you've done this sort of thing before, and you just feel this odd jangling resistance. And you manage to narrow it down. There's one figure in the middle of this like angry, constantly moving crowd that's standing perfectly still. He's in a dark hoodie and got sunglasses on, and you can just feel like rage and discontent and anger just roiling off of him, like being picked up and reflecting off of this whole crowd. He's this font of emotion that is just like overwhelming to you. You're getting it reflected to you back by 1,000 minds or 100 minds, however big this protest is.
A lot of minds.
30 minds, whatever.
There are literally tens of minds.
But yeah, I think it starts to tear at your control, and I think he starts to get into your head, and you feel these emotions threatening to wash over you and make you part of this riot.
I'm going to reach out and... No, this is wrong. We should find safety. I'm guessing you're making me roll.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to use purple because that's the one I like to use. I got a 4.
Whew, squeak by.
I did. I think as I move up closer to this person and these waves of hate or anger, not hate, anger. And
anger and discontent, yeah.
And my waves of, it's all okay. This is the way it should be, kind of meld together. We reach face to face. And I see underneath this hood a young man. Very handsome young man. And as we look at each other, I don't understand why this all bothers you so. He leans in close and whispers into my ear, I don't understand why this doesn't bother you at all. And he steps back, and I sort of lose, as he moves away, I calm this crowd. But I can't see him. He's left.
Nice.
And I think that's where we're going to stop.
So, you get points too.
I do get a chance for some points. Did I strike a blow against villains or the Big H's government?
I think so. I mean,
I think I fought against that villain. So
the villains of civil discontent.
Yeah. Show inspiring heroism or integrity in front of onlookers. I do think I got that one. I mean, it's up to y'all what y'all think, but
I do see some scenes there of you like standing in front of bottles being thrown or like stopping people from surging forward. Yeah.
I mean, some of that's on YouTube if YouTube gets invented.
Stand up for ideals or betray ideals sort of things. I'll tell you honestly, I feel like it was a very personal scene. I'm not entirely sure I stood up for ideals.
Had you, let's see, you went with progressive globalism as your safeguard ideal, right?
Yes, it was.
Do you have a personal ideal?
It comes down to we are all one. And you know, it's that view of all humanity is one, and I think I've recognized we aren't. I think I respect this guy I spoke to, so I don't think I get that one. So we'll wrap up because we've gone late, and I'm so sorry to go late. And it does mean that next time around. You know, I was a little worried we'd run through this thing so fast it wasn't going to go to 2 seconds. We have not done that.
But, you know, we took a good like hour, almost hour and a half building out world and heroes and setting everything.
Yeah. And I feel this is pretty ambitious too. I mean, we've gone to world reshoot on here.
I hope y'all are enjoying it. I kind of like what we're delving into here.
This is interesting.
I am too.
We'll all be back together next time, I believe. I think we're the same group next time. We'll hit that next. The next one is Losing Their Way, and that's going to be kind of each of us giving a scene where we show Safeguard doing something that we think is wrong. Each individual hero thinks is wrong. I think we can get through that one quickly, and then I think that Heroes is going to be a neat going to be a neat one when we get to it. And I look forward to seeing what we think Safeguard did to take over the world. So, again, I'm so sorry for going awfully late, but boy, howdy, I love playing with y'all.
Likewise, I think the next session will go quicker now that we're getting. I mean, we're also, ironing the bugs out of the system or misunderstandings of the system.
I don't want to rag on it too hard, but I do feel like it's a 5-page RPG that really doesn't want to be. So we did a lot of unpacking and adding stuff in.
Yeah, there definitely feels like there's a minimum of a paragraph and a half that's just not there.
Well, again, hope y'all had a good time. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
It was really fun.
We'll see the end of this story. I loved what you guys made. It was phenomenal. So
I like everybody's hero.
I'm going to end the broadcast here.